Hey, Mr. Excitement here. Just an update on the proof of Craig Grant uh, coin. This thing here, Craig over here, nice guy, decided to dump. He basically got into a pissing contest with somebody else, and so he dumped out. And then other people dumped. So as you can see, the contract balance right now is down to 22, just under 23 ETH. So the value came down a lot. So whatever you put in at, like if you bought at the height, you're you're basically losing right now, but you're still getting dividends. I pulled out how much did I pull out today? Like almost $20, and then here's another 782 already built up. So I'm just pulling it out right now, and I'm going to put it somewhere else. I'm looking for some cheap but potentially growth-oriented crypto or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll put it into the other one, which is proof of weak hands. 3D. This one here is, there's just under 7,000 ETH. It's still in this contract, and this one here has potential. There's whales in here, and this one here can go on. People are still buying into it. They're taking out, they're buying in. There's still some volatility. I have to say the dividends right now aren't that great on this one because the volatility there hasn't been enough activity, but this one, I'm keeping everything in both of them, though. I mean, I'm not pulling out. I'm not going to pull out at a super loss, and it's not like I didn't put a lot in these anyway. You should never put a lot in these. It's like a game. It's a way to have fun, keep entertained, but, and if you stay long enough in these things, like this one here looks bad. They're calling it dead, but you don't know. There's some hardcore people, and they wanna revive this thing. So if they start buying in again, this thing can become viable again. I mean, now with the prices so low, you can actually get a lot of tokens if you were to buy into it right now because they're 50 cents a token instead of like $1.60 or more, like when I bought in. Of course, the sell price is a lot lower because they get you on coming in. They basically deduct the whole 50% on buy-in. So, like I said, these things, they're interesting. They're smart contracts. It's a way to see how smart contracts work. You look at these things, you can actually go on Etherscan and look at how these things are written if you're into reading code. I mean, it's all run by the smart contract, But in the way they're set up, you see, the key with these things is how many people can buy in, who can buy in early, and how much can they buy in with. Because if you end up with somebody who has a lot, buys in with a lot of ether, they can push it around. So even though the smart contract itself is immutable, not changeable, and they can't do an exit scam, I've learned with these things that some of these sociopaths that run around with these things, they can they know how things work, and they play games. So there's some talk right now about creating one of these smart contracts, essentially very similar to the existing ones, that making it so that no one person can buy a tremendous amount. Like there's limits on how much you could come in at any one time to control that sort of thing, because we found out that's a weakness in this whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to stick with the Grant thing in here and see how many dividends I can pull out. You can reinvest as well, and like I said, buying in right now, if you want to experiment with it, is really cheap. So you can get in really cheap and get a lot of these tokens cheap if you want to play with that. And then, like I said, there's also the proof of weak hands is still viable. You know, a lot of these crap talkers are calling it dead. I don't see this thing as being dead. And they're going to be coming out with FOMO 3D and other coins, so we'll see what happens there. So I just wanted to give an update on this thing because I did the 2 videos on it, and you know, there's other contracts that are very similar. You know, Trevon, there was one in his name, and you know, other similar ones, and I'm sure there'll be some spam posts for people to try to get in those. Be careful with these, you know, just be careful and know what you're getting into, and you know it's a gamble, right? So if you are interested, my link's below, but just be careful in this arena, because you can lose. Don't spend what you can't afford to play with. Consider it gambling. All right, later.